It's your boy Auqiie, and I just skipped class with the progress report. When you hit Atlanta, check in and check up and get your progress report. Stop playing.
The progress report.
All right, what's going on? It's your girl Lala Shepherd. This is another episode of Skipping Class presented by the Progress Report. I got my man Auqiie here. What's good?
Gang, what's up? What's happening?
Man, yeah, you know, we met during Rolling Loud weekend in Miami, and I just loved your energy and your spirit.
Appreciate
And, you know, I know you was rocking with me, so,
Yes.
you know, I'm glad we got a chance to lock in today.
Nah, you definitely showed me too much love. You you take situations and you flip it somehow.
Come on,
and
man,
make
we gonna do that
everything
every
work
time.
out. So you hosting was just a vibe, definitely. You kept that show rolling like crazy.
Nah, we was lit. It was dope. I had a great time out there. So, you know, for those that don't know, let everybody know, what do you do?
My name is Auqiie, but you know my real name's August, but I go by Auqiie. I do music, I travel, I do poetry, I do films, I do a lot in the entertainment industry. I do a lot of marketing and PR and things of that sort. So I'm just like, I wear a lot of hats, no mag on them though. So.
Okay, period. So, since your real name is August, is your birthday in August?
Yes, ma'am.
What day?
The 15th.
The 15th. So
Yes.
Happy belated.
Appreciate you.
Oh, it's
yeah.
giving Leo season.
Yep, Leo, come on, that's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what's up.
And my family is, you know, months. So like my mom is a month, my grandfather before he
dope.
passed, his name was a month. So that's just like a
Wow.
namesake, so.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So now talk about your stage name. Now, I know you had kind of broke that down before, but, you know, let our platform know, where does that come from?
Auqiie, basically, like I started this music thing a long time ago when I was around 13, maybe 13, 14, like middle school transitioning into high school. I had been recording stuff, but I hadn't released it. So like when I was like trying to think of like a rap name, at first I came up with a bunch of different ideas, but you know, it turned out my social media was Auqiie, and that was more just trying to brand myself as, you know, August, Augie was taken, Augie was taken, and all of that. So I'm like, how can I brand myself, because I am Auqiie, but make it, you know, something unique that'll pull up on, you know, social medias and Google searches when you search it. So actually, a friend of mine actually helped me come up with the idea. She's like, you know, that looks like a G anyway when it's lowercase, so people will get what you're doing, like the 6 black thing, or
Right.
you know, triple X when he first came out, even though I made that my name way before those things came into being big. But just that same concept of just listen and get to know who I am, and you will understand like what's going on and why that's my name and why it makes sense.
Absolutely. Nah, I got you. Now, you say you've been doing music since the age of 13.
Yeah.
So tell us, you know, who taught you and how did you first sound back then? Because I don't even know if you hit puberty at the time yet.
Yeah.
Your voice probably sound different.
Yep, and this, like, everybody be talking about how, you know, I don't got the deepest voice. Like, my voice was, like, crazy high pitched back then. I was singing, I was learning how to engineer auto-tune by myself and things like that when it was first, like, coming out. So, like, it was a growth thing where it's like, you know, this is not gonna be my voice forever or my sound forever. So I knew even back then I had to develop what it is to sound like Auqiie, so people can say, wow, that's a Auqiie song. That sounds like my boy. Like,
Right. That's what's up. And also too, so you are from Buffalo, New York.
yes.
So tell me, what was, you know, it like coming up in Buffalo, New York? And also too, let me know what the music scene is like, you know, especially back then and also now.
So basically, well, I was born in Buffalo, but I grew up in New Rochelle, which is like right outside of the Bronx. Like, I kind of grew up more closer to New York City than I did upstate New York, because my family was out there. So I went back to Buffalo for college. So after I graduated high school, I'm like, I'm gonna just go out here, lock in, get my education, you know, network, do my music thing. So basically, when I started out, like, music scene was more in New Rochelle and navigating around the boroughs and trying to do shows at different places there. But as I got older, it became, you know, getting more in tune with like the college scene and hosting parties and doing things of that sort. But, you know, growing up in Buffalo before I moved to New York City was definitely a vibe. It's like definitely different from moving from upstate to downstate. So I don't know, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm not from anywhere, but I'm from everywhere because I moved around so much when I grew up. So I don't know, definitely Buffalo music scene has come up a lot since I was younger, especially with the movements and the artists that are coming out and trying to go, you know, major and do their thing. So I don't know. I just think the scene is really growing out there and getting more, you know, solidified and verified, where people are taking what Buffalo has to say seriously.
Got you. Going back into music, I wanted you to talk about that Let's Have Fun song. I think it's dope how you put a twist to Sisqo's Thong Song.
Yeah.
So I want you to first, you know, recall, where was you at in your life? What was you doing when his song came out, and what made you want to, you know, put your own spin to that record?
So basically I have like a mixtape series. It's called Grand Theft Audio, where I do remixes of like popular songs just to show people like that I literally do this music stuff every day, that, you know what I mean, I'm really out here working. So usually in between like some of my original projects, I'll put out a GTA. And just so happened with Let's Have Fun, I think I had just heard it on TV, like heard the Sisqo song on like TV or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna just GTA that, and I'm gonna make my own version of it. And I just went to the studio one day, and that is what came out from just hearing that vibe and that feeling. So I love Let's Have Fun. That's like one of my fastest high streaming songs. So
Nah, facts. And I was gonna definitely bring that up about the mixtape series too, because that's not the first legendary song that you know you did your own twist to.
Exactly.
Of course, you did something to Lauryn Hill's Doo Wop. I thought that was dope as well. You know, so why is that important to you to, you know, not necessarily remix those other songs, but, you know, add your own twist to those, you know, other records?
Because it's like with music right now, especially with all the interpolations and people doing stuff, I realized this is what I was doing since I started out. So like if you go back to my stuff from 2009 or 2010, before I understood, you know, original music, and I was just trying to make songs and show people like I'm talented. So it grew from that into like an actual series that kept continuing on. So it's like every time I try and get away from remixing and stuff, everybody's like, no, I need another one, or you need to do this song, or what would your take on this be? And I like to try and do something very different from what anybody would expect. Me and my bro did a silhouette challenge video, and we just took it a different direction than people would have expected in that time period, because I know you remember everybody was doing
Of course
one.
I remember the silhouette challenge. It was lit.
So, you know, like sometimes like conceptually people stick into one lane or one thing and don't want to push people's thought processes, or what are we consuming? What does this mean? What is going on? So sometimes I'll just go completely left and try and give you something that'll make you think. So, you know, like my silhouette challenge was literally questioning, you know, what is it to be doing this? Why do we have women doing this? Why do we promote this as empowerment when sometimes it can be seen as that, but it can be seen as something different? And people was taking those filters off and doing stuff. So it's like I want to call to attention, like, you know, real life and real things, because we get caught up in these phones and believe that it's the reality of things, where if every phone cut off today, where would you be? I know a lot of hustling regardless with a phone or not. I know a lot of people like that, but there's some people who would be lost in the sauce and not knowing how to promote themselves if all of the cell phones in the world just cut off tomorrow.
I feel that. I wanted to ask you about another record too. Let's talk about the Hurt Prelude. Yes. I want you to break down what it means.
Hurt people times two. Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people times two. So Hurt Prelude is the intro off of my next original tape.
Okay.
It's called Hurt People ×2. So essentially, hurt people. So I think the prelude, I just wanted to open up the album or the tape or whatever you want to call it, just with something that'll show like how eclectic in the range of my abilities are. So I wanted to throw in a poetic aspect because I have toured for poetry. I wanted to show people I can rap in the different rhyme schemes and the things that I could do. And I picked a contemporary type drill type beat where it's like it's mixed up already, where it's like some of these sounds you would not hear in a normal New York drill or UK drill beat, but I'm gonna approach this a certain way so I can brand myself as so far left from what anybody else is doing.
Respect. So wanted to ask you, just, talk about just the first time you got your heart broken.
I don't know. Probably the first time when I was really young. Like I was real tiny and I had the high-pitched voice. So once girls started to, really pay attention to me and see like, oh, he's talented, he's cool, he's like an actual good person. It's like, it's like, what about last year before I had my growth spurt, or last year before I was making music? So I feel like when I was young, I think probably my first time having like some experience of heartbreak was like probably freshman year of high school or middle school, where just girls were in that playing phase, and if you were just new to moving around and liking girls and all of that stuff, it was very easy for girls to play with you. So I've been through ups and downs in life. We all hurt people essentially. So I realized even back then when I was a kid that a lot of these girls were going through their own traumas and things like that. So sometimes it's easy to hurt a nice kid or do something that people did to you to feel, empowered. So, but I've been through a million heartbreaks. I've broken hearts. It's just not a good feeling on either side. So you just that was the point of this album, where it's like hurt people, but healed people, heal people. So if I take these experiences and learn how to, heal myself, I could tell somebody else, listen, if you go through this, these are the steps or these are the things that you got to do to recover, because we're all, emotional beings. We're not just, no matter the toughest guy, if, something happens to his mother, his heart is going to hurt because that's where his heart is. So if you're a man who puts his heart into another woman, you're putting yourself up to be heartbroken or to experience these things. So as I tell people, hurt people, but heal people, heal people.
Absolutely. I want you to speak on a recent crime and violence that's been going on amongst our people, specifically, especially within the hip hop community.
Yeah. Just, it's a lot. And like I said, I'm from Buffalo, so it's not even just the hip hop community. We go to a grocery store that's around the corner from me, and there's somebody murdering people on live and killed 10 black people. So it's not just within hip hop, which is the narrative they're trying to push, just like they did when Biggie and Pac and all of that stuff, where the media will try and push that it's just a hip hop thing. But no, there's something going on in the world where hurt people are hurting people. It's not just hip hop, it's not just rock and roll, it's not just this one section anymore. Now it's like you go out to the grocery store and somebody's trying to play GTA or play a video game with real lives, and now we're having to consume these things and watch these on our phones, and you can't wash these clean from your memory. You can't take these things and say, oh, let me just forget about it. You carry that with you every day. So I do think, to your point about in the hip hop industry, we need to look out for each other more, because we see that there's outsiders that are trying to hurt our people. And there's people who, there's racism in the world, there's sexism, there's all of these isms and all of these things that are, trying to separate us. But hip hop from the beginning was supposed to bring people together. It was supposed to be this party, this influential thing where you get people to recite your lyrics, and the MC and the master of ceremony and the DJ and all the different aspects like spray painting and breakdancing, where we're getting so far away from what it was originally about. It's becoming a narrative that isn't the true thing, because I've experienced so much love and appreciation within the music scene and within, you know, meeting people in this space. Like I said, when I met you, it was just a positive experience. It looked like you were trying to help everybody have their best opportunity, where some people see people coming up and don't see it as, okay, we're helping each other elevate. They see it as, he's gonna make it, and what can I do to stop it? We got a lot of talented artists that are just not here any longer. And it's like, what can we do as a community? Because when you think on a grandiose scale or something bigger than just rapping or going to the studio, what as a community, whether it's the artists, whether it's the consumers who listen to this music, whether it's the elders who may not make music anymore, but they've navigated this space for 40 years, what are we gonna do within the community to help teach and show people that this is not the way? Killing people may send somebody's streams up for a second, but this is somebody whose children are gonna have to grow up without them. Their family is gonna have to, you know, navigate this world without them anymore. So it just doesn't sit right with me. I try and do things in the community to, you know, push a better narrative of what it is to even be a musician or a rapper, because this is art, you know?
I respect. And you know, speaking of other things outside of music, talk about some of those other business, you know, avenues that you do, because you do other things outside of music too.
Yeah, I do a lot. I mentor. I do a lot of mentoring. I do. I was teaching a lot of people how to do poetry in my time. I was traveling for poetry. I play sports. I was a rugby player. Well, I still am technically, but I played rugby for about 15 years so far. So just being an athlete and being a student athlete, always having to juggle multiple things. So it's always about wearing multiple hats. I'm a part of Groove I Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated, so I do a lot of traveling and a lot of, you know, works through that avenue and field. So like I try and push myself to always be doing something, or always trying to affect change, or just trying to be a part of the bigger, grandiose scheme of things, of where we're making big changes somehow. So it's like, what can I do? What networks can I, you know, be a part of? What teams, what sports, what things can I do to shed light, not just on myself, but shed light to the things I'm doing, so I can do something greater later on. Because when you meet a 16-year-old black kid and they say, I'm playing rugby and I'm traveling, you're like, that's not a normal thing for us to do, apparently. But it's like, I always like to go left and do something people wouldn't expect me to do, just to challenge myself and to tell people it's okay to challenge yourself and try something. Where, you know, I tried a lot of these things and became dedicated. When I first started riding a bike, I wasn't good at it, but when I kept doing it, it became muscle memory. So that's where I'm at with the music. Like, I wasn't always the best. I wasn't always the best singer. I wasn't always the best rapper, but I've been doing it nonstop, damn near every day for years. So now, just like a bike, it's muscle memory. I go to the studio and things just happen now.
Absolutely. So the name of our platform is called The Progress Report. We talk about growth and getting better. Mm-hmm. So how would you say that you progressed lately as a person?
I think I'm progressing lately as a person very well. I'm just trying to push myself to be a better person. I try and, you know, if I feel like I've done wrong, I try and search for atonement for my wrongdoings, or I try and not just ask for forgiveness from God. I try and go to the people and not just say sorry, but, you know, change actions, because a sorry without change is manipulation. So I don't want to say sorry to somebody and not show them that I'm really applying this to my life, and whatever we went through, I don't want to do to another person, or whatever you did to me, I don't want you to do to another person, because if we're not growing and learning from these experiences, what's the whole purpose of this whole life thing, you know?
Period. I respect that. So what you got coming up next?
Hurt People ×2, hurt people. I'm out here, you know, I'm probably going, while I'm out here, hit the studio, I'll record something, work on something. I know that, I think Iman Shumpert's performing out here. I'm gonna try and go out to that. Just staying on the move. Like I told you before, I'm just trying to keep doing what I'm doing and showing people that this is not like a fun thing that I do. This is a serious lane and avenue that I'm consistently pursuing, because sometimes when people don't see things, they think you're not doing anything, or I'm good at marketing, I'm good with social media, but sometimes I just cut it off for a month and just work on an album, or get low and just work on my music, or work on fitness, or work on, you know, my faith and things like that. So it's like, I don't know, I just try and stay busy and keep myself out there, whether it's musically. That's why I'm doing Hurt People ×2 with 22 songs in 2022. So I'm trying to show people, like, this is not like a game. I can walk into the studio, and if I want to make a 50-song album, I could make it. I just choose to be more concise, and, you know, and since I'm so conceptual with music sometimes, it's like, it's hard just to not give somebody a project of what I'm experiencing.
Got you. Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate you for skipping class with me.
No, I definitely appreciate you. You show so much love, and just like the positive energy that you give out, and you make people feel like stars, you know what I mean? Even though we are stars regardless in our own rights, just from our creative thought process and really believing in ourselves. But when other people believe in you and give you that stamp of approval and say, like, wow, no, I see what you got going. I kind of get it. I may not get it 100%, but when you give people that recognition, it gives a harder drive. And sometimes you'll even see people work harder after they meet you. And that's a blessing and a gift from God, because it's a spirit of encouragement. So you definitely have that. And that's why I definitely hit you up fast as possible. Like, we definitely got to link and work on something, because I see what you do. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The Progress Report.